Hey, it's Carlo Prusa, and I'm with a very special guest today. My guest today is coming off of a second round TKO victory at UFC Orlando. Ladies and gentlemen, he's your boy, Mr. Eryk Anders. Eryk, how are you doing today? Are you still celebrating? Are you the celebration from Saturday still continuing for you?
Nah, not really. I kind of give myself 24 hours, win, lose, or draw. Like come Monday, it's back to the grind if I'm able, if I'm not hurt or whatever. And that's what I've been doing. Hopefully, uh, not hopefully, because I don't want anything bad to happen to nobody. But I'm staying ready in case the opportunity arises to fight next week on this last card of the year. So that'd be awesome if that could happen.
Now, in the second round of your fight versus Daukaus, you caught him with a strong right, and that pretty much started it. From that point on, you finished it with the ground and pound. Walk me through that initial strike. When you landed that, what was going through your mind until the finish?
Well, there at the end of the first round, I dropped him and finished the round on top. And I could see whenever the second round started that the first round was kind of wearing on him a little bit, and he was starting to fade. You just like feel these things when you're fighting somebody, and feel their desperation. I knew he was desperate for the takedown, and when he didn't get the takedown, I could see it in his face and his eyes that he was ready to go. So I touched him, a few more times, laid him down, and saw that the end was near, and went ahead and got him out of there.
Now, in that first round, you hurt him as well. Did you think in that first round you had a chance for a finish?
Yeah, I could have, but he's so slick on the ground, and I felt like I was winning, and I had won the first round, did enough to win. I think I dropped him once or twice, and so I felt pretty confident that I had won the first round, so I didn't want to rush anything and make a mistake, and next thing I know, I'm getting dorsed. So I just take my time, apply a little pressure, and they say pressure make a pipe bust.
This was your first finish since 2019. Did it feel pretty good to finally get another one? And going into the fight, did you have an emphasis on trying to pick up a finish, or did you not really look at it like that?
Um, yeah, the main goal is to win. How you win, is whatever. Obviously you want to win in like devastating fashion and get a finish because who the hell wants to be in there for the whole 15? You know what I mean? But man, I was just feeling good, confident, and I was in shape. Physically, I wasn't even breathing hard, felt strong, felt good, and knew that if I had to, I could fight at that pace for the whole 15. So, I didn't think that he could. So, I just wanted to go in there, push the pace, get in his face, make him uncomfortable, and, kind of wait for him to make a mistake.
You mentioned earlier that you had to be careful to get on the ground with a guy like that. There are several points of the fight where he's on the ground, you're standing up there. Was that annoying for you at all? I mean, waiting for him to come back up?
I mean, I could have stepped away and made him get up, but at the same time, like, I'm stealing time. I'm winning the round or whatever. Um, I think if I could go back and do it again, I would, step back and, make him stand up and make him, uh, do something or make a mistake to that I could actually like, like knock him out proper instead of like getting a TKO. But either way, man, I'm happy to go out there, get a finish, and get paid.
Coming into this fight, you were almost a plus 200 underdog. Do you take that as motivation? Do you even look at that before the fights?
Yeah, look at it. Vegas really don't know, man. I think MMA is like the hardest sport in the world to bet on because, sometimes a dude could wake up on the wrong side of the bed and fight like shit, or the other way around. So, they really don't know how the athlete is going to perform on fight night. But I don't put a whole lot of stock into it for that reason. Like, I know me and what I'm capable of and what I can do. And I feel like I always have a puncher's chance against anybody, especially in the middleweight division. So, what does Vegas know?
Following the fight, you mentioned to Cormier that you felt that after your last fight, you were at the lowest point in your career. What are some things that you were able to string along during training camp that, got you out of that mold? I mean, this is one of your more dominant performances that we have seen in the UFC. Did you adapt anything or pick up any advice that put your mind back on track?
Man, I just went harder. I'm the type of person like, regardless of what's going on in like my personal life and things like that, the gym is always sanctuary for me. Like when I'm training, when I'm running, when I'm exercising or whatever, my problems don't exist. So, I just kind of stayed in the gym and tried to forget about everything. And yeah, I went harder in sparring, went harder in training, trained more, was more focused and dialed in because, like I said, like your problems don't exist when you're training in the gym or, and for me, that's what it is. Other people have to find their own like escape, I guess, but that's what it is for me. So, it kind of fits perfectly for what I do.
Now, going forward here, do you feel like you're a different Eryk Anders? I mean, do you feel like you're at a place mentally that is going to propel you in the future here?
Yeah, I think I'm in like that space where the mind and the body are on the same page. I think, sometimes when you're a little bit younger, your body like outperforms your brain, if that makes sense. And then when you get a little bit older, your body can't do what it used to do. And now your mind is like outperforming your body. Like your body, your mind, your head, your brain wants to do more than your body will allow. But I think I think I'm in my prime. I'm 35, but I think this is the best shape I've ever been in. It's probably the best performance that I've had. So, I know when I was a little bit younger, like 30 was like or when I was a kid, like, you'd hear somebody being 30 and like that would be it for their career. But I think now with like all the recovery and science and technology and how to eat and how to train and things like that, you can preserve your body a little bit longer. So, like I said, I think I'm just now hitting my stride at 35. So, I'm gonna be here for a while.
How has the overall reception been after the finish? I mean, were you getting blown up on Twitter? Do you have a lot of people reaching out to you?
Yeah, man. Every time you win, you have so many friends. Everybody's my friend. Everybody wants to, say congratulations, shake my hand, give me a hug. But, I know what it is, man. Like when you lose, ain't nobody calling me but my mom. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody worried about how I'm doing, uh, except my mom and like my brothers and sisters and things like that, like your family. So, I kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like everybody love you when you win. Nobody wants to talk to you when you lose. So it is what it is for me.
Now let's shift a little bit here. Besides an MMA fighter, you have also been an actor. You were in the Cobra Kai series. How exactly did you get into that, and did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was quite the experience. And I got into it because they filmed a movie here called Embattled with Steven Dorff, and they used our gym to coordinate all the stunts and whatever. And then the stunt coordinator for that movie became the stunt director for Cobra Kai, which was filmed, about 2.5 hours away in Atlanta. So, they gave me a call, said they needed this big Mexican looking fella to play this role. And, I had to audition and read the part, record it and send it off. And, just like a lot of things in this world, it's like who you know, not what you know kind of thing. So, yeah, they were able to plug me in and, I had a blast.
Are you considering maybe doing some more acting appearances in your future?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Like uh if the opportunity presents itself again, I'm all over it. So I'd like to have that happen and maybe pursue that, when I'm done fighting or simultaneously like in between fights or whatever. So we'll see what the future holds.
Another pretty cool thing that you did is you were on the Joe Rogan experience. Overall, how was that experience, and what were the reactions like for that? Do you have a lot of people reaching out to you once they saw you on there?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people said um, following the show is they felt like I was a real person. Like I'm not unobtainable. I'm not like you can't get in touch with me or whatever. Like, I go through the same shit that everybody else go through. You know what I mean? So they just I think that's cool that I think that sometimes people think that like, oh, this person is just like they're not real. And, I'm a real honest person, and what you see is what you get with me. And for me, that's the biggest compliment that somebody could probably pay me.
Do you find it important to explore in other routes, in addition to fighting, like the acting, going on big shows like Joe Rogan? Do you find any benefit in getting your name out there like that in different platforms?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You can't fight forever. And for me, like I want to keep pivoting. Like I started managing fighters. The Cobra Kai thing popped up. So any chance I get to like explore another avenue and see if that's what I like or that's what I want to do or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of every opportunity that I get, and I kind of use the UFC platform to launch the next thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's cool. Everybody bitches about like fighter pay and whatnot, but I'm good. And you kind of use the UFC platform to launch the next endeavor. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Before you got into MMA and into the UFC, you're an SEC football player playing at Alabama. Do you ever keep in contact with Coach Saban? Have you talked to him since your days playing there?
Not too much. That's like the busiest dude in the state. If he's not coaching or watching film or putting together a game plan, he's out recruiting or whatever. He's pretty OCD when it comes to like coaching and building for the future. So, um, yeah, um, I would like to, kind of get down there a little bit more than I do. But man, I'm also worried about my career and what I got going on. And then on top of that, I go other places for camp. And so, and then when I'm here, like I want to be with my kids and hang out with them. And that's pretty much what I've been doing outside when they're not in school, or, at wrestling practice or basketball practice or whatever. So, my day is pretty full.
Now, do you find any similarities between football, MMA, and acting? Is there anything that kind of, falls in all of them?
Yeah, they all have their own little process. That's one thing that Nick Saban always talks about is the process and how you prepare for, the next competition, the next game, the next fight, the next role, So yeah, I don't ever want to be stagnant. You know what I mean? I want to keep moving, keep pivoting, and keep trying to master my craft.
Now, do you think having that drive, having that motivation to never be content, do you think that's going to help you in your MMA career? I mean, to be a champion in this sport, do you need that mentality?
Yeah, absolutely. Because man, it's really hard to make it to the top if you get satisfied. You're not gonna make it because there's a bunch of hungry lions in there, and if you're full and eating steak, then the guy who's eating beans and weenies and ramen noodles, he's coming because he want to eat steak. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of and that's just kind of who I am as a person too. Like always striving for more. I want more. I'm never satisfied, and that's just me.
Obviously, the whole sport of mixed martial arts has evolved greatly in the last 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, now you have the point where it's obviously you have the big shows, you have the UFCs, the Bellators, the PFLs, but now you also have the little feeder leagues. Like Jorge Masvidal's Icon FC was in Orlando. You have Pettis has one, Habib has one. When you look at these guys coming up and knowing that, every week there are these developmental fights, we're future UFC guys, future UFC champions. Does that give you any motivation knowing that, these kids are coming?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the fastest growing sport in the world, and if you get complacent, there's some dude, some guy no one's ever heard of, like Clubber Lane and Rocky. You know what I mean? He's in the gym working out, ain't nobody paying him attention. He wants the attention, he wants the love of the public, he wants money, he wants the fame, he wants everything that you got. You know what I mean? And how does he get that? He goes out there and beats you. So yeah, you get content or complacent in this game, like it's gonna be short for you.
Now, just a couple more questions for you, Eryk. Are you looking to try to get back in action relatively soon?
Yeah, like I'm staying in shape, keeping my weight down, and trying to fight next week if at all possible. So we'll see what happens.
Now, going forward, what are the goals for Eryk Anders in 2023?
Well, if I don't get to, I'm on the last fight of my contract now, so I'd like to get a fight, renew my contract, get another 4 or 5 fight deal, and go undefeated in 2023. Fight at least twice, 2, 3 times, and keep moving into 2024.
Would you say it's safe to say that your mindset is kind of one fight at a time right now?
That's how it has to be. I can't think. I don't even know who my opponent's going to be when I'm a fight, so I can't really necessarily like think boom, 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 4 or 5 fights down the line because I don't even know, when I'm a fight again, or who that opponent's going to be. So, I just got to do what I got to do to stay in shape, keep developing and grow my skills. Excuse me, and keep evolving.
Well, Eryk, I wish you nothing but the best in 2023 moving forward here. That's your boy, Eryk Anders. I'm Carlo Prusa. Thank you for watching.